It's June 2012 and Chris, Mike, Moose and myself head off to Turkey.
It's day one, we're in Göcek and everything's fraught.
It's shakedown day as we get the sails out and head off to Sarsala.
Welcome to Sarsala.
At nearly 40 degrees all day, this is our first chance for a refreshing swim. Day 2, and after a nice breakfast we ready the boat and head off out to sea. It's a long sail today across the bay and out into open water, around the headland to the small, sheltered bay of Karacaoran. After mooring up, there's just time for a nice swim before practicing for tonight's raft race. At times there appears to be more splashing going on than rowing, and nobody stands to get out of this one without getting soaking wet. Despite their best efforts, Chris and Mike just can't keep up with the girls, who skate their way easily round to the finish line. Day 3 and we're back out in open sea, which has really picked up with some strong winds and heavy swell. We're thrown around for several hours as we make our way down the coast to Fethiye. After mooring up at Yacht Classic, we head into town for a look around before coming back for our evening meal at the fabulous Yacht Classic restaurant. Day 4 is our free sail day and we choose to anchor up in Ruin Bay. Dinner tonight is pasta cooked on board.
Turkish cider, very nice, good price.
We just spent our first night at anchor in Ruin Bay. When we woke up it was lovely and peaceful, but now it's changed into Gullet Bay.
To get away from the gullets, we go for a long walk up the mountainous countryside in search of an ancient ruined town. We don't find it, but the views from up here are spectacular. Back to the boat where it's time for another swim before lunch. Then we haul up the anchor and head just a few miles down the coast to meet up with the rest of the flotilla. We're off now to Kapi Creek. Kapi Creek is another remote cove with nothing more than a single restaurant and plenty of wildlife. It's the location for tonight's much anticipated cocktail competition. It's day 6, and before heading back to base, there's one more competition we need to try and win.
It's the big race. We are currently last.
The despite a slow start to lull us into a false sense of security, there are some very strong winds awaiting just around the headland.
We had a slight problem at the end of the race because jib was catching on the dinghy and it meant we couldn't steer and we're hurtling into the shore.
We finished the race early and decide to take a leisurely trip back to Göcek, but the excitement is not yet over.
Hey, they're shouting at us. Are they in trouble?
Yacht Jupiter is just a few metres off of the rocks with engine failure when we finally get a line tied on and tow them back out into open water. We call for assistance from the lead boat, who are able to tow them back into Göcek Marina. With the sailing over and the boat tied up safely, it's time for a look around Göcek.
Oh, they were heading for the rocks. They were really impressed because they were heading for the rocks and they said that we came and saved them.
This has been our first trip to Turkey, and we've not been disappointed, finding beautiful places, friendly people, and really great food, even for a vegetarian. We've sampled kebabs, Turkish coffee, and apple tea, and I discovered Turkish cider. It's the final group dinner and time to hand out a few awards from the week. We didn't win the boat race, we didn't win the raft race, and we didn't win the cocktail competition. But we did get a special mention.
Something happened to the heroes of the hour. Heroes of the hour. So I'll get back to the race in a minute. But, this is more important. These guys saving people's lives. The gentleman and the one lady who were on that boat would not be here today if this guy had exited the race early and decided to pull them free from the rocks. So I have to say it's quite impressive. Well, they were so close to the rocks because they gave me their GPS coordinate. They're that and long, and I wasn't sure whether they were on the rocks or not by that from that point. We need a hero prize. Goes to who wants a hero prize? You can sail on my boat any day. Congratulations.
It's our last day, but with a late flight, there's still plenty of time to enjoy the Turkish sunshine, relax, and even enjoy a final meal.